current sales best practice on one hand, and on the other hand, a concept called PQ, partnering quotient or partnering skills. So this is something that I came across a couple of years ago, where when we bring these things together, we can really start to make a difference to the salesperson. So I'm just going to start off thinking about sales, because that's the bit which we'll probably all understand it easier. And so for the purpose of writing, so the purpose of just trying to put things in the right slots to help people who are selling at different levels operate effectively, I just use a simple classification of value complexity and just labeling sales on 4 different levels. It's shades of grey though. I mean, this is a spectrum, and it's useful for a salesperson to understand whereabouts are you on that. So the value to you and the value to the customer is the same thing, and the complexity of the sale, in other words, how many working parts are there, how many people are involved in decision-making units, the sophistication of the solution, that's how you would start to define those different areas. So with a lower value and low complexity, we have classic sales. So classic sales needs to still undertake ask before tell. I think if you're not doing that, you're not selling. But from a classic point of view, that's what you do, understand customers, and then reply to them with something that's going to be useful for them. As we move towards more consultative selling, that's using more of the sort of techniques and the things introduced by Neil Rackham, and so solution and consultative questioning styles to really understand the depth of the problems. Yeah, so we talk about the pain that a customer might be experiencing. I would always say, or the opportunity of gain, and think about those in a consultative selling role, which in turn might lead to a more value-based selling approach, where we're thinking about what are those levels of insight that we can bring? How can we really do stuff to open the customer's eyes to help them think about where they can start to do things really differently? And again, there'll be more complexity in that because more people will be involved, more thinking involved, more elements to consider. And so at the top end, if you like, with a lot of value for both parties and a far higher complexity than any of them is more of an enterprise sell. You might call that strategic selling. Again, the labels are almost just semantics in this. It's more the mentality of what we're trying to do there. And as we're going up that spectrum, we'll see more people getting involved from both sides. And certainly enterprise selling, I've heard people refer to that as team selling, which I'm absolutely comfortable with. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So we bring in these different types of selling where, again, no one is better than the other. They are just different. Yeah, so, and again, you might have an organization that is working with all of those different levels at play because it means that they're totally covering the market. And so one of the customers or one of the clients I've worked with in the past, Big Brewer, UK, selling beer, they will use all those different types of selling. So the classic sale will be the guys, the brewery ambassadors that are going out, they're doing 5, 6, 7, 10 in some cases calls a day, going to pubs, selling beer. That's great. They've got to ask questions, they've got to understand what the person there wants,